Like you're trying to get a gnat. It's like that.
Hi, I'm Masha.
I am Megan.
And we are reviewing...
After. Based on a Harry Styles fanfiction.
Hated it.
Watching it was like reading a fanfiction. Like,
There was no ass, come on.
it was like the hip.
That was like
the hip shot of the ass.
Some crack.
I remember good butt when I see one.
Fanfiction. That's one word.
My one word would be unsexy.
Freshman falls for bad boy. Big twist. End.
A woman discovers oral sex for the first time and does everything she can to keep it.
I read fanfiction because it's wonderful, but it's also cheesy as maybe not loved it, but I definitely would have read it and been shook.
I went into this movie thinking I would feel something down there, but I felt nothing down there except the fact that I needed to pee.
Please give me a thesis statement.
I'm not sober enough to think of a thesis. Bad boy, what's his name? Harden?
Harden.
Harden Scott.
He's reading Sylvia Plath, and then it goes down, and then there's this grave, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it zooms in on the day of 2019, not the day of the year, 2019. Let me be, I'm trying. So the mom and the main character, Tessa, are like, she's dropping off Tessa at college, and she's also with her boyfriend, Noah, I think.
Noah.
Drops them off with her roommate, who is stereotypical bad influence.
Also gay.
Also gay. Wonderful.
So clearly she's really bad.
So she goes to take the shower, and then her clothes get wet because she didn't put them on a hook, even though there was a hook right there. So she goes into her room, she's wearing a towel, and then there's Harden sitting on, like, her roommate's bed, and she's like, excuse me, who are you? Why are you in my room? And he's like,
don't worry, I'm not gonna look.
yeah, that was his first
Because
line.
he's British. I watched Skins growing up. I know the British hats.
Eventually her roommate comes in and is like, we're gonna go to a party, you should come with us. And Tessa's like, ah. She's in a group with her roommate and the roommate, and Harden and some of their friends who are actually all One Direction. Fun fact.
In the fanfiction.
In the fanfiction, but in the movie they are
just played by really boring people.
Yeah, they have like no lines.
They have no personality.
They have no personality. One of them who is like all over Harden, and so she was like, let's play Truth or Dare. And I'm like, is this high school? So they do Truth or Dare, and of course, Tessa goes first. She's like, truth. And he's like, craziest place you've had sex. And she's like, and then they're like, you're a virgin? Whoa!
Like, how dare you?
And so she's like, pass, I'll do Dare then. And they're like, make out with Harden. And I'm like, eh. No, and so she goes to make out with him, and then she's like, I don't want to play this game. She rejects him.
And she's like reading the book, and he's like, what are you reading?
What are you reading?
Does look at the, like, she sees a book and it's Wuthering Heights, and you're just like,
I love my
Does
meat
anybody
pies.
have a bottom
My
opener?
bread pudding.
Then she goes outside and calls her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, hey, and he's like, I thought we were gonna FaceTime or something. Are you at a party? Oh, you're at college one day and you start drinking? Oh my god, I get how it is. And then hangs up on her, and I'm like, this guy is a asshole. One, he's a senior in high school still. Yeah.
So, you know.
That's
that generational gap.
Then she runs into him at a coffee shop. He does another, like, we keep running into each other like this. And I'm like, fan fiction dialogue. Anyway, he's like, I want to show you a place. And she's like, how about no? And he's like, all right. And then he walks away. And then she's about to leave. And then she hesitates. And then turns around and gets in a car with somebody she barely knows. And then he shows her this lake. And there's a lake there.
It's not his butt. She's talking about an actual lake.
No, there's a lake.
Hey girl, look at this lake.
I've never heard of lake used for apps.
Have you not,
What?
have you not seen my massive lake?
What?
Then he's like, time to go for a swim, and takes off his shirt, and I'm like, this is the most fan fiction shit ever. I don't have a bathing suit, and he's like, my shirt's right there, and I'm like, So she goes to the lake and then they're like swim around, whatever, and then they start making out real hard. He starts to like put his hand down her like underwear and then stops.
And I'll say, yes, that's what I'm here for.
Have you never been touched? And I'm just like, his friends show up and he starts to kind of feel embarrassed and whatever.
She was like, oh, let's date. And he's like, I don't do the date.
Yeah, he was like, I don't date.
If anyone has problems with me doing a bitch accent, I was colonized by them, so I have the right.
Her high school boyfriend comes up and she is like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, I came to surprise you. He stays the night at her in her dorm.
Yeah.
And then she gets a call from her friend that she met in the class once. Goes over there and their kitchen is trash because Hardin had gotten like upset because so the friend of Tessa's from class and Hardin, both their parents are getting married.
Important detail there.
It is kind of important because Hardin has daddy issues. She's like, I thought you didn't drink. He's like, I don't. I didn't. Again, fanfiction nonsense. Boyfriend realizes that she's cheating on him and breaks up with her. They start dating, and at one point in the...
They as in Hardin and Tessa.
No, because then the mom is like, if you keep dating him, I'm going to cut you off. So they move in together in... And
they don't even move in. They move
like
into someone's like apartment.
someone else's apartment that he's watering plants for, and he's just like, this is our apartment now, and she's like, cool. And I'm like... He says the thing that every single fan fiction ever says, which is, are you sure?
With the condom in his
With the
mouth.
condom in his hand. Like, she meets with all of his friends at a bar. She gets suspicious of him for whatever bullshit reason. And she finds out that the only reason he started pursuing her is because of a dare. That's not true anymore. I love you. And I'm like, fanfiction nonsense. She runs out in the rain, and he's like, I can explain. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. And then she runs away in the rain
In Atlanta.
to their house, which is 20 minutes away. And then he turns in an essay in their shared English class, and the professor gives the essay to Tessa and is like, this is what Hardin turned in, but I think it's meant for you. And I'm like, fanfiction nonsense. I never thought I believed in love until I met you. And now I believe in love. I love you. And then they meet at the secret lake, and they look at each other, the movie ends.
You're 12 years old, right? And you don't really know what sex is, but you also really like British culture, and you really like One Direction, and you also really want to go to college, and you never have to really worry about student loans, so you just want to write about, you just want to watch a movie which is about people in college, right, having sex. This is that movie.
Fan fiction about One Direction comes to life on screen. So this is actually 3 books, and then there's also 3 series on Wattpad.
What?
They're
What?
different. Because, like, the ones on Wattpad are actually, like, the first book and the first half of the second book on Wattpad are the movie. And then there are 4 books on the After series, plus a prequel called Before, which is Hardin's perspective.
So Drew, laugh at my fanfiction all you want. One day, I could get published.
Yes, Marsha, do you
What
agree
was
with
the
me?
question?
Cinematography's pretty decent.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Pretty cookie cutter, but it was serviceable.
Yeah, like, it wasn't the worst movie
It is
I've ever
service
seen.
my vagina, no, but you know. Maybe he's that good in bed because they're so good at talking out of their asses. Doing the quote-unquote sexy stuff, it focused on her pleasure, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was touching her, yeah, and he was going down on her, and I thought that was pretty cool. What? Despite his anger issues and whatever, completely problematic, but the way he treated her touchy-wise, I thought that was very nice.
Yeah, it was very physically affectionate in terms of, like, there were cuddles, there was hand-holding, and I was like, it was cute. And she also becomes problematic because she enables him, which is kind of upsetting because she started off as kind of, like...
It's basically
like,
Grease. I just realized that the movie is basically Grease.
Except she doesn't completely change for him at the end.
We're talking about greasing as in, like...
What?
Greasing a pan? What do you think? Plot-wise, it was boring. It was so boring. It was like going to your friend's house and she shows you an album of like all the photos she ever took with her boyfriend, and you're like, oh my god, you guys went picnicking. Oh my god, that's cute, I guess. Oh my god, you guys snuck into a library and stayed after hours. That scene was
It happened.
dumb.
That scene was dumb. Very quickly into the movie, I was like, this is a fan fiction. And then I kind of watched it as if I was reading a fan fiction. and therefore I was not bored because I'm fan fiction trash.
Yeah.
If from beginning to end was just her getting pegged, I would have been into it.
That's just porn.
Wasn't the most insane of movies. It wasn't the most intense or stimulating in terms of not stimulating in the way Marcia means it.
Compare this to the Italian neo-realist film Bicycle Thief.
Yeah, please compare.
Please don't.
Not at all similar because one is an old movie in Italian and this one is not.
And neither.
But you said like it's about like nothing. It has no like conflict. Like
That
Bicycle
has a
Thief,
conflict. This bicycle is stolen, and so therefore he can't.
Yeah, but it's
get
just like
a
every
job.
day.
Okay, so there's a lot of intense eye contact, right? Because they keep
kind of unsettling.
most of the time, anytime he's looking at her, he's just like this.
And he's like talking in his British accent. He's like, "What are you dreaming about?" I argue that the female gaze didn't even exist because I didn't see his butt. My biggest issue with movies like 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight, right, where it's about men who, like these guys who are really problematic, I feel like it cheapens the idea that men go through a lot of things and they have a lot of things to work at. Men deserve love and men deserve to like, you know, like get their issues sorted out. But these movies like kind of like mutated into this idea that it's sexy, and I really hate that.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie completely
Amen.
exemplifies that.
Amen.
Oh, it makes them mysterious and like, oh, he's brooding and whatever. No, he's like,
And
he's sad. He has
biggest-
issues.
My biggest problems with movies like this, right, is that in movies like this where sex is involved, right, the guy's problems are completely handled because he goes down on her. That does not give you a pass. Just because you're good at giving head doesn't mean your anger management issues can be completely like.
For sure, like everything he does in terms of sexual and like sensual stuff with her is like, it's like he always is like, he seems to be very considerate and like asks for consent
And he has
stuff.
never asked like, "Hey, could you like touch me
he
down
doesn't
there?"
like
He never did.
He
that.
doesn't ask for a blowjob like they might do in real life.
People like Edward Cullen, people like what's his face on 50 Shades of Grey.
Christian Grey.
Christian Grey. Like they have like made the idea that a man who is emotionally distant but sexually really like not at all distant, they have made it like a great thing, and I feel like it just is really insulting to men and really insulting to consensual, healthy relationships between two people.
They make it seem like because she loves him, like he's gonna be fixed, but that's just not true at all. A lot of like young adult like books and like TV series and movies, like they always have it where
And
it's
the
like,
sad thing is people go into relationships
Yeah.
thinking that that is what will happen, right?
yeah,
Like,
it's
just really sad.
It's a very problematic thing to put into young people's heads. You have to find a way to fix yourself in terms of like other people can help you, but
Right.
you have to be the one.
If you could change one thing about the movie to make it better, what would it be?
Dialogue.
I think it's
Almost
poor
both.
screenwriting.
Yeah, because screenwriting, they were just taking it from the fan fiction, but also the fan fiction, like the first couple chapters is clear that this is the first fan fiction she's ever written.
Honestly, I would kind of change the message of it because I felt like if things were right, it could have been a really good analysis on like the idea that the whole like bad boy trope. I feel like if they just like flipped the script a little bit at the end, it could have been like, oh, you have a lot of issues. Maybe you should go see a therapist, and then we can meet in the middle and be a really good couple. But that movie never does that. The movie completely plays into the fanfic to a T. Yeah, mate.
Right.
We'll get some fish and chips later, yeah? And we'll go around, yeah? And we'll go to the pub and we'll go and your mom, yeah?
4.5 intense eye contacts out of 10.
Oh, nice.
3 out of 10 lakes. To
2.
consensual relationships where
Yeah.
both people are aware that they are two human beings trying their best and working on it, but with each other, but also separately.
2 non-toxic relationships.
Cheers, cheers.
To
Yeah, we can
non-toxic.
shorten
You have 5 seconds. Cheers.
Cheers to oral sex!
If you want to see more of me, click here, some box thing.
You can see more of me. You can add me on Wattpad, which I don't have.
Wattpad?
Wattpad?
Like and subscribe Grozny. Again, button here, down there.
And if you don't, I will publish all my fan fiction.
Just subscribe. It's fun.